All right, chefs, welcome back to another edition. This is for my Foods 1 class. This week we would have been making enchiladas. So I wanted to demo that for you. First things first, I'd like to go through some of the ingredients that I have on hand that I'm going to use for this. First things first, obviously ground beef. I'm making a beef version. You can make chicken, you can make tofu, you can make a pork version. There's plenty of different fillings you can put into your enchiladas. To try and define what an enchilada is basically a rolled taco with enchilada sauce poured on top, layers of cheese, and then baked in the oven. This has always been a huge hit with my students. This is a good one. If you've never had an enchilada before, I highly suggest you try one as soon as possible. So let's go through some of the ingredients. We're gonna make our own enchilada sauce, which is simpler than you might think. You could also just buy a can of enchilada sauce. So I'm using a can of tomato sauce, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder, a little bit of ground cumin. I just happen to have this, so why not? Let's see what that does for us. And then some salt and pepper, as always. The other thing you're going to need is some white corn tortillas, okay? Do the best you can to find them, or hopefully have some on hand. You can use flour for this. A more traditional preparation would be with white corn tortillas, though. And then you need some broth. All right, you're going to need chicken broth for your enchilada sauce. I'm going to use beef broth or beef stock for my for braising of the beef for the filling. And then on top, I just happen to have some of this here cheese. I've never had it before. It kind of came in with the package that I got. And then some shredded Mexican blend cheese, some cilantro, a jalapeno, and some garlic. If you have onion as well, that's a good idea to throw some onion in the mix too. So all these ingredients here, primarily over here as well, used for my mix, my filling. And then over here, these spices and sauces are all going to be used for the enchilada sauce. Okay, I'll be back soon. I'm just going to put in a time-lapse video to kind of show some of the prep. All right, bye. Okay, chefs, I'm back. 2 ingredients I did not mention earlier that we definitely are going to need for this recipe is flour. And yes, I finally tracked down some all-purpose flour at Costco. So I don't have to work with gluten-free flour anymore. And I'm sure you can recognize this little pasty looking thing I have going on here. This is our roux, okay? So this is canola oil and all-purpose flour. I got 12 pounds of flour now. I'm ready to rock. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook this, and you can kind of see where I'm browning it a little bit, right? Giving it a little bit of color. We've done this before in class. Okay, wash your hands, sweetie. Get your step stool. It's over here, to the right.
Upstairs.
Okay, Ryan's gonna go do her makeup upstairs.
Then I'll come back.
All right, I'll be here for a while. All right, just cooking the roux out. I wanted to get a little bit brown, and actually now's a good time for me to go ahead and add my 3 tablespoons of chili powder. All right, approximately. As you can see, I'm not really measuring. And we're going to get this chili powder to turn from like a reddish to almost like a dark brownish color. Smells good already. I don't know if you remember cooking the gumbo and the gumbo rather, where we did this, where we browned the roux. Kind of similar to what we're doing. Then we cooked the Holy Trinity in our in our roux. Kind of similar to what I'm going to be doing here with this. Someone asked the question before in another post from my students. Asked if it's important to constantly stir when you're cooking a roux. And yes, especially if you're on high heat, you need to constantly stir it so it doesn't start to burn in certain spots. I turn my heat down because I got a little bit more prep I got to do. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of this minced garlic. Right, we're going to cook the vegetables right in the roux. And then I'm going to try and get some of this jalapeno as well. Very, very small dice on the jalapeno, or even a gourmand. That's kind of what we're looking for. I'm just going to put a little bit of jalapeno in mine, maybe like a quarter of one for this part at least. Because again, I want my 4-year-old and my 3-year-old or 2-year-old to be able to eat this. Now, putting the jalapeno in. Put my garlic in and my jalapeno in. Give that a little stir. Other spices at this point. I can go ahead and add some garlic powder. All right, a little onion powder. Notice I am not measuring here. I can always add more later, so I'm going to go a little light on it right now. But I like to toast my spices. Need some direct heat before I do anything else. I'm going to go off from the chili lime stuff. I don't really know what to expect. Alright, so opening up the can of tomato sauce at this point. I'm going to add some chicken stock. And you're going to see the magic all come together. Alright, let me just show you exactly where I'm at. Okay, you see how brown it's gotten now? It's gotten brown, it's gotten brown. Now my garlic is nicely toasted. All my spices are nicely toasted. I smell them very aromatic in here. My dog wants to go out, but I'm a little busy at the moment. Okay, now this roux is going to thicken up my tomato sauce. Put some right in the middle there. I'm going to go ahead and take some of this chicken broth. I'm not going crazy. I'm not trying to put it all in at once. I don't want like little lumps of roux in there. I really would rather stir some of it in, let it thicken, and then I'll stir some more in, and that should prevent the lumpage. Okay. Rest. Good idea. After you dump your can out, you see all the excess in there? Let's throw a little stock in there, right? Slosh it around. And you can get the rest of the product out. I'm making a lot. I'm gonna make a lot of sauce because I'd rather have too much than not enough. And if I have too much, no worries. I will simply jar some of it up in a mason jar, save it for another week, or I will, you know, preserve it and freeze it for another time, another preparation. You use enchilada sauce, not just for enchiladas. You can put them on top of burritos, like that melted kind of sloppy burrito. You can use it inside your taco seasoning or mix. Add a little bit more stock. I will get better at posting some of these recipes. Lately I've been a little overwhelmed with just trying to get these videos done and figure out how I can get them edited and all that stuff. So speaking of that, I'm going to be trying to this week get these videos onto my YouTube channel. So I'll provide a link to that. Hopefully they'll be slightly more edited. It won't be as time consuming to watch them, and they'll be a little bit more streamlined. So I'm looking pretty good here. This is basically what I'm looking for, my enchilada sauce, okay? At this point, you could add some acid, maybe a little bit of lime juice, lemon juice, some chopped cilantro, things like that to really make it pop. The only thing I'm going to add to this right now, though, is some salt and pepper. I'm going to let it come to back to a simmer, see how thick it is, and adjust my consistency from there. Okay, I will be back to make the filling in a moment. Welcome back again, chefs. Here we are going into, oh, she's coming. Girlfriend is coming. All right, we're getting into now the cooking of the beef, or our filling, right? So all I always like to start with my garlic first. Let it get a little color to it, let the aromatics start to come out. Right? And then this is the rest of my mise en place. A little bit of jalapeno, Brunoise, onion, and a little bit of cilantro to finish. Okay? So let's go, Ryan. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to put some onion in here. Ryan, can you wash your hands first, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Leave some of me, Dad.
Well, I don't want you to touch the jalapeno because it's spicy.
Yeah,
okay.
Just touch him off, sure.
I'll show everybody your makeup. Oh, you look so pretty.
I'm Anna.
Oh, you're Anna? Can you hold this for me for a second?
Sure.
You don't need makeup though to be pretty, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Because you are so pretty without it.
No, I know.
Okay. So now, chefs, I'm in my cast iron skillet here with the garlic, jalapeno. Brian, go ahead, wash your hands. Shallot or onion. Okay, I'm just going to give that a good sauteing. Let the onions get nice and translucent. Here's the monkey.
Lucky.
Okay, onions are getting a little color on them. And the reason I like to cut my vegetables so small is because I don't want them to be really present in my filling. I want the beef to kind of really stand out and speak for itself. Right? All right, now the beef can go in.
Daddy, what are we making?
Enchiladas. We're in Latin American cuisine right now. So we are making beef enchiladas.
What is it?
That is chopped cilantro.
Oh, that's spicy.
No, that's not spicy, but it is a herb that some people really love or some people don't like at all.
That's why you don't let me touch it.
That you can touch. I don't want you to touch the jalapeno.
That's right here.
And this is really hot and dangerous, so Daddy's gonna stir everything up here. Alright, so we're back, right? We're starting to cook our beef. I'm gonna render all the fat out as much as possible. Strain it because I don't want all that fat. Put it back in, and finally add my beef stock and my beef broth to it, and my cilantro. This is the consistency of the enchilada sauce. I'm really happy with it. It's thickened up nicely, right? Very nappe, or coaxed the back of a spoon. A little thicker than that probably. And you could always thin it out a little more if you want to, but this is so much better than something out of a can, okay? The can's gonna be very thin. All right, and add a little touch of cilantro to this to kind of finish it. And let this just sit here and get all the flavors happy. All right, I'm cooking my beef. I don't think you need to watch me do this entire thing. So I will come back. I'll bring you back once all my fat is rendered and the beef is fully cooked. Till then. All right, chef, we're back. I got the beef completely cooked and browned. I had put it into a strainer or a colander, okay? Strained all the excess fat off, and now it's time to season. All right, naturally, you always want to start with some salt and pepper. You need 2 hands for the pepper. All right, a little bit of chili powder. Chili powder is not spicy at all. It actually has good flavor, but primarily it just has really good color. So don't worry about putting too much chili powder in anything. A little bit of onion powder. Some garlic powder, kind of the same spices that went into the enchilada sauce are now going to go into the meat as well. Cumin. All right, and again, some of this chili lime stuff because YOLO. YOLO. All right, give that a good stir. Get all my spices and seasonings in there kind of toasted. Then I'm gonna add my broth. I'm gonna let this braise for about 15-20 minutes to kind of make the beef, get the beef nice and tender. The beef stock, you can use whatever left over chicken stock I have here. Alright, just a spoon or a ladle of the enchilada sauce in there as well. And you can take a look. Stir all this in, bring it to a boil, get it nice and happy. I'll probably even cover it with a lid and just let it simmer or braise. The longer the better. I'm kind of rushed because it's already like 6 o'clock and it's kind of time for my family to eat. So I'm going to let this sit for about 15 minutes on like medium heat, and let it start to get tender. Okay, once again, we'll be back. We're back in enchilada heaven. All right, you can see the beef braising still. Honestly, probably use another 30 minutes, but I'm gonna go forward because I'm impatient. So I'll let this start to cool down a little bit, just so I can actually work with it a little bit. Because we're gonna need this filling in a second.
Look what I did.
cool trick. All right. Now we're going to start to assemble. Okay. The last thing I want to actually do here is I'm going to take my cilantro and put it into my beef. I always do this at the very, very end. It's a leafy green, so a leafy herb. So you don't want to kill it by braising it. You want to just have it as a finishing herb. Mix in some cilantro. Smells delicious. It's looking good. I just need this to cool down a little bit more so I can really work with it. Alright, now what we're going to do is start assembling. What I did, I took that cheese. Me and my wife are eating half of it. I'm going to put this aside now. The other half I grated up.
I need a baby because here's my baby leg right there.
Let me see.
See it?
Oh yeah.
I have a Band-Aid.
Sure. We'll take a Band-Aid break from our video.
I didn't know what everyone can bagels.
Tell you what, Mommy has the Band-Aids upstairs. Can you go?
Did you see it was a superhero once?
Yeah, I don't see them in here.
I see some Band-Aids.
You do?
It's on top. You want me up? Yeah. I think that's a Band-Aid.
Oh, nope, that's not Band-Aids.
No.
Okay, Ryan, I have to get back to this, okay? We'll get you a Band-Aid in just a little bit. All right, Ryan's touching the corn tortillas, or eating them rather. Here's my pan that I'm going to be assembling in.
Yuck.
First thing you want to do, yeah, by themselves raw, they're not that good. You want to take a ladle or two of your sauce, lay it down into your pan. And this is the messy part. It's going to get very messy, but also very fun. Take a tortilla that your daughter did not already eat. All right, dip it in, flip it over. You can probably do two, okay? Make sure it's nice and saucy. Take some of your meat, put it into the center. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Roll it over itself. I really need two hands here. I'm gonna have to set you down. I'll show you the finished product in just a minute. Okay, roll it over itself. You know, it doesn't have to be super tight. Just somewhat closed. Obviously, you want to also put the seam side down so that it stays closed, and then line them up one by one, right next to each other. Okay, I'll flip this over. Another one. Your hands, there's no way around it. Your hands are going to get it dirty, but in the end, it's going to be so worth it because you're going to be in enchilada heaven. I have to remember when I'm doing these videos, when I put you over there, I need to speak up. It's hard for you to hear me. So I'll try to remember that and do better with that. All right, every now and then you're going to need another ladle. Sauce. A few more tortillas. Okay, let me just show you what I've done so far, and then I'll let you go. So, here we are, right? Just kind of lining them up one by one. I can probably fit five, maybe fit one or two more off to the side, and then I will top it all off with some more sauce, some more cheese, and we're going to pop it in the oven, okay? right, here we are back again. Final stages. We're gonna put this in the oven for the cheese to melt. I put some extra sauce on top after I rolled them all, and then some meat because I just had extra, and then some of the shredded cheese mix that I made. All right, this is gonna bake in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, or until this cheese is nice and melted and goes blub blub blub. I have extra enchilada sauce that I'm gonna jar up. Ryan's not gonna stick her fingers in it, right? Now for the assignment, what I'm looking for you to do, to be clear, I think I made it clear in the last session, but you should have 2 responses to this video. I'm looking for 1, a comment about something new that you learned that maybe you didn't know before, and then try to be original, try to be different. Don't try to just copy and paste your fellow classmates. And then finally, respond to someone else's comment, maybe with an answer or maybe with an enlightenment of your own. So you would at somebody, at John Smith. I totally agree that looks amazing, and I didn't know you needed to braise beef in order for it to be tender, right? Something along those lines. So 2 comments. If there's 20 students, I should have at least 40 comments on this. I'm asking you to watch a demo video and comment on it. I couldn't make it any simpler. And I'm just trying to get creative and come up with some more assignments as we go. All right, so I will show you a picture of the final enchiladas after they come out of the oven. Other than that, try this at home, hopefully, and enjoy.